Good day, everybody. This is Michael from That Homeschool Life. How's everybody doing today? Not that y'all can answer me, but hey. So this is going to be a quick, short video because it's just something that popped into my head and something someone had told me. It was really good advice, so I felt like I would share it. So we all know, or if you've dug in to any kind of homeschool life activity, whatever it may be, you've come across the different methods of teaching. So you've got like traditional, you've got Montessori, you've got classical, you've got Charlotte Mason, you have unschooling and da-da-da-da-da, all this kind of different things that you can do, right? So if you're like me, you start reading about these different methodologies of teaching your children and you're like, oh, I really, really like this and I think I should do it. And you switch everything, you switch everything around, just switch it completely. Or you're like, well, I don't think this is working because my kid hates school, so I'm going to change it to this. Newsflash, if y'all don't know, most kids hate school, even homeschooling. Like, I've been doing this for 4 years, and mine still get tired of doing it, just like regular school. There are days that they just don't want to do it. They're kids, I get it. Even all the people I follow and the blogs I read, their kids say the same thing. You know, they just get burnt out. They need a day off. It happens. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You know, you'll change your curriculum because you think your kids hate school, or it's not Pinterest perfect or Instagram perfect or whatever. So you're like, I need to be more like this. I need to do the classical. I need to do the Charlotte Mason. And you dig into this and you change your curriculum and you change your way of teaching and you start doing this and you start doing that. And it's still not working. Here's the bit of information or a bit of advice that I got. And I just want to pass it along. Stop worrying about what methodology that you use. Stop focusing so much on being so into one particular way. And if you vary just a little bit, that you've ruined everything. The beauty of homeschooling is that you pick what works for your children, what works for your family life. Do that. And that's why I say that I'm a very eclectic homeschool mother. We run a very eclectic type of homeschool. I am very traditional, and I will say that I'm school at home, because I use workbooks and I use tests. And for me, that lets me see where my children are at. If they do a test where they should be at that particular time and they're missing something there, we can go back. It's not a big deal. Yes, I check their work daily that they do in their workbooks, but a lot of times you won't catch it until the test. So I'm very traditional in that sense. I do morning baskets or family time or whatever you want to call it, which is kind of Charlotte Mason, kind of classical. It depends on, I guess, what would be in your morning basket time. I do Charlotte Mason in the living books, like with science and history especially. If I can find a book, like a children's book, that will tie into, you know, the Great Wall of China, or the pharaohs, or pyramids, or right now we're doing a marine biology unit, and I have a book about sharks because there's a unit in the marine biology thing for sharks. I did one on the ocean completely. So I took living books. I took books that could relate to real life and used it in what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? Whatever. I used it together with, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not the word. I used it together with lessons. So, classical, I do read alouds. We have been on a read the book before you watch the movie kick. We are reading cheaper by the dozen right now. So when we get through, I don't know if I'm going to make the kids watch the old cheaper by the dozen or the new one. I haven't decided yet. So we do classical in the good books part. We go outside and do science outside if the lesson doesn't G-haul with us. So don't focus on trying to make your homeschool one particular methodology. However, if that is you, that's fine. And if you can do that, that's fine. But by sticking to one thing, one particular thing, if your children don't necessarily like it that way, try something else. It's not okay. Even if it's outside of your Charlotte Mason realm of teaching. You know, if it is a workbook, if, you know, living books for math don't work and you need a workbook for them to do, go to Walmart or go to the Dollar Tree and get one. It's not a big deal. Or get them on Khan Academy, which is free, and make them do some math lessons there. It's it's easy. Don't worry about sticking to one particular methodology. It's okay. And sometimes it's best to just pick and choose. When we started homeschool, I started out that way. I started out picking and choosing what I wanted. And when we got, after the first year, I was like, well, if she's ever going to go, we start with my daughter, if she's ever going to go back to the private school, because she did private school, public school, then homeschool. So kindergarten was private, first grade was public, and we started her in second grade. And I said, for third grade, I said, if we're ever going to put her back in the private school, she needs to do all this, because at the time we were using a Becca, and it's what they call a box curriculum. And the first year in second grade, I picked just a few subjects out of that, and we did our own science, and we did our own social studies or whatever. So the second year we did it, I did everything, because the private school she was going to go to used the Becca curriculum, and I knew that she would need to know how all that worked in order to go back to that school. After that year, I think I did it one more year, because she never went back to the private school. I soon found out that a lot of it wasn't working, like especially the history and science with Rebecca wasn't working with her. So we just kind of, you know, moved on to something else. And that's when we started picking and choosing different curriculums for her. And it works. And my son is the same way. He does Rebecca for language and math, because in writing, because it works for us. And, you know, for science and social studies, he just kind of tags along with his sister. So it's okay. Just, you'll find your way. If it's your first year, mom, if this is your first year and you're clueless and you have no idea what to do, if you are comfortable with using a box curriculum like Rebecca or something like that, do it. Find your comfort zone first. Get a feel for what you're doing. And then if you see you need to branch out. It's okay. No worries. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today, or for right now. Y'all have a great day. Like and subscribe and thumbs up and tell your friends and all that good stuff. But anyway, love y'all. Bye.